It's time for an oil change. Well overdue. I've had the Jeep now for 4 years and it's had one oil change. It's pretty sad really, but having had all these operations and yeah, a lot of recovery. 20 operations since 2013. So it's well overdue an oil change. I'm tired of topping it up. It does have an oil leak around the rocket cover, I think, but like overnight it's only like a drip on the driveway. It's not major. Anyway, it's I was pressing the wrong buttons. Oh my goodness, I'm terrible at this. Here we go. So yes, he's reasonably dry since he's done. There's a new starter motor we did not that long ago. Too far. Where are we? Yeah, it's in there. She's not bad for almost $250,000. I can't really see any major oil leaks anywhere. I never smell any burning, so I don't know where my camera's pointing. Whee, here we go. So that member is still dry and clean since I cleaned it when I did the starter motor. So I have, what I like to do is run the engine hot. I like to run the engine hot. I'll turn around so the window doesn't shine in my face. And then I like to let the oil sink to the bottom of the sump overnight. So it's been sitting on the ground here overnight with the hot engine, and now I'm going to drain it and have a coffee break while it's draining. Yeah, the longer the better, I say. So let me set that up and we'll get to it. Okay, so the old handy milk crate, and I've got my collection tray here. I always keep my old oil containers and I put the old oil back into the containers so I can take it to a recycle place and do the right thing. But while that new starter motor, even though it's smaller than the original, it cranks it real fast. So just 20 years of technology, even though it wasn't an expensive starter motor, the 20 years of technology going from a big starter motor to a smaller one, I was worried it wouldn't crank it, but it cranks it a lot faster than the old one did. Maybe the old one was worn out, right? But still, it cranks it so fast. So we've got it in the right place. Take it out slowly. Yeah. And there we go. Also, I use Penrite full synthetic oil, and I also use the synthetic oil filter by Ryco. I've probably used Penrite and Ryco since I was a teenager. Never had a problem. Never ever had a problem. These 99.8 efficiency, anti-drain back valve, most comprehensive rate, 15,000 kilometer interval, right? Well, mine's done probably that, but I like to do it every 5 to 10. But these originally have a short filter on them, but the Z9 is a bigger volume filter, and it fits. It's the same fitting, everything. So why would you put, what is it, a Z28, I think? Why would you put a smaller filter on if you can put a bigger filter on? If there's a problem with that, leave a comment, please. Because, yeah, for me, oh, it's nice and grippy surface. It's not a slippery one. That's an improvement. I know the old one was like that too. So, yeah, why not go for the bigger filter? I've always done that. You get twice as much filtering power. So, in reality, you could probably get away with 20,000 with one of these, but I would never do that. So, that's draining pretty well, but I kind of want to put the drain tray under here. Let's see how tight it is first. Put it back on the plastic. Do I need to use my... No, I don't need to use my tools. Look at that. It's clean. I normally like to let that drain, so I'll do that. And I'll come back and I'll move this under the filter. And, oh. I noticed it really needed doing because when I revved it up, it started to rattle. And I'm like, oh boy, that's no good. The discs are really good, actually. So I always like to have a bit of a look under here. I know the CVs need doing, they clunk a bit when you turn around corners. I've got some upstairs. I've got a lot of new parts, but I was just too ill to do it. How about I change the oil filter and then let this drip drain a bit more. So I can just continue filming, okay? There's a lot of heavy stuff in these crates. Bloody good. Unscrew the filter. I wish this had a filter stand. Can you get these with filter stands? Like you put the filter on and it just keeps draining. It's all stuck behind the rubber seal, mind you. I'll just stick it upside down at the bottom. Now when you put a new oil filter on, I always make sure that's nice and clean. Have I ever done an oil change on this channel? Maybe years ago. Eh? Maybe years ago. See if we can make a bit of room on this little table for me without tipping. I always like to prime these. Hopefully without making a mess. And I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at not making a mess, guys. So let's try it this way. Full synthetic, 540. It just, when you crank her up, it just means the pump doesn't have to fill the filter as much, and it just circulates oil quicker, so you don't starve the bearings and everything of oil. It's just something I've always done. The filter's absorbing a lot of oil, but that will do. Now I don't really need to put oil on the seal because I've already made a big enough mess as it is. I'm shaky because I'm not a well man, so I apologize for that. And we'll screw that one back up, and we'll probably lose a little bit of oil. The Z9SD, and there's a shitload of room for a bigger filter. Now why wouldn't you? Touches and then 3/4 of a turn normally. I don't like to use tools to tighten. I do like to check after a couple of drives to make sure it's not leaking though. Oh, my Jeep is purring. It's so happy. It's like purring like a pussycat. It's a very happy car indeed. Every day I start it up. Oh, I got sweat in my eyes. Thank God for the hoist. Every day I start it up, I get a reminder. Service your engine! Service your engine, you lazy bastard! So, let's move it back. I like to have a drop sheet down just in case. I've got plenty of them. I'll take this back out. And then I'll go and have a break. See? You don't want that shit in there, do you? The nut rests nicely in that handle. Anyway, off for coffee. You're welcome to keep watching, or you can put it on pause and have a coffee yourself. Okay, well, it's actually the next day because I was in too much pain yesterday to finish, and this morning I got something in my eye and now I have to go to hospital. Ooh. Some cable ties. So I'm quickly going to finish this job so I can take the trusty Jeep. Alright, so I think it's drained long enough, so I'm going to put the drain bolt back in. I did have a look at the washer. It's aluminium. It's not the best, but I don't have a replacement. So normally I like to replace the washers, but in my case I can't. I have a cameraman today, a camera woman, lady, girl. I think that's tight enough. Get a rag. Alright, so basically that's everything done under here. just make sure again that the filter is on tight enough. Yeah, it's tight enough. Alright, I can pull this out of the way now. If I was smart, I'll take this off first. Always recycle your oil. Take it to proper oil recycle place. Don't pour it in your garden, because one litre of oil can pollute thousands of litres of groundwater, and honestly we don't want that. Look at this gift from my Father's Day gift from my son to replace the one I brought when I was a kid. I think I was 19. And we were working on his Mustang, and I said, be careful that screwdriver doesn't come out, because the Mustang will fall down. And I never thought he'd remember. And he says, can you go to order one? And I said, oh, how about you order something? He goes, no, it's for you. And this was waiting for me, so very proud, very happy. I actually got a proper jack. I probably won't need it as much as I used to because I've got the car stand, but it's still very handy when you're working outside or just changing a tyre. Alright. I always put my tools back. Put them down where I don't know, I will forget. Let's lower this baby. I'm almost too sad to get rid of that, because what am I now? I'm 50. I knew, what am I, 53?
4.
You should have said yes. And so that's at least 30 years old, I imagine. Yeah, so, okay. I need something to push against though. Right.
What's going on?
I cut some holes in the roof so the hydraulic rams can go through, so the vehicle can go a bit higher, which we'll have to do until I lift the roof of the workshop. I'm just too tall. But I'm very blessed to have this. I do need to make a lever for this though, proper one. And we had a bit of a windy day, and as you can see, look at all this crap that blows through the roof. It blows through the gaps and through the gable. If any of you guys have an idea how to fix that, I would much appreciate it. I was thinking like spray foam or something like that, because even upstairs on the storage areas there's leaves and crap. I mean, this is just one night of wind, so you can imagine every day crap blowing up through that gap at the top. I was thinking getting a spray can and just expanding foam, but somebody told me that rusts metal, so I don't know. move these little arms out of the way. I'm sniffing because I got my eye is stinging. Now, she normally takes, I believe, 7 litres of oil. That container is 6. Back here. There it is. Oh wow, this has got a fancy pillow. So I've got 2 here. So I'll have some left over. Now I need to replace look how tiny those struts are, man. To hold up this heavy bonnet.
Are you sure that's safety?
Yeah, that's safety. Now with these, they're nice and big, but they tend to dry out. Like I said, and because this engine is in good nick, it doesn't have much blow-by, it dries out. There we go. This here tends to dry out the threaded part, so I always literally smear this with oil before I put it back in, because a worn engine would blow oil into this here reservoir, but because even though it's done 250,000, it doesn't really have much blow-by. It's bone dry in there, so it tends to get stuck. So I've got a 6 and a 7. I've already opened the 6, so I can easily pour that in there. I should hire a cameraman more often. Or is that being sexist, honey? Calling you a cameraman when you're a woman? Or should I call you a camera they? A camera they? A camera X? No, we're not left here. I'm right-handed.
So how many gallons you need?
Well, this is 6 litres. I've already filled the oil filter, as I showed in the clip yesterday. Oh, my nose is running because my eye's stinging. It's weird, huh? So this should be... I could just, without measuring, go for a drive now. What'll be interesting to see, actually, like I said to you, I knew I needed to either put new oil in it or change the oil, because at cold start it would rattle, so that the oil wasn't picking up. What I'd like to see is how much oil is actually, that oil filter's been draining. I can go in the bin.
What, you gonna add that? I hope not.
No, I'm not going to add that, sweetheart. Watch where you're standing. I'm going to measure to see how much oil it takes, because I've got to return this anyway. So it's got to go into a container. How much oil before the engine cannot pick up at high RPM or idle at cold start? And you definitely don't want sucking air at cold start. It's filthy because it's probably been 10,000 kilometers since the last change, which is shocking because I normally do it every 5,000 kilometers. That's a rough idea. Oh my goodness, what have we got here? About 2 litres, I imagine. Yeah, just under 2 litres. We'll leave that in there. Keep it draining. So it's easy to clean this afterwards. So the engine can actually run on 2 litres of oil in the summer, which is pretty incredible. Put lots of oil on here. So I've had a wrench on one of these, on this before. When I first got this vehicle, I used to have to get a wrench to put on it to get it out. Oh, I'm a silly bugger, aren't I? I'm rushing. Is that cloth still there you go? That's what I'll do. Gearbox oil. Always wipe it clean first. Some of the oil will still be stuck up. This goes into the head, past the change, straight into the sump, so it doesn't take too long. Some cars it goes into the rocker cover and takes forever to go down. Alright, so but you always check this again after you've had a drive. So we've got that there is totally full, alright, and that there is add, so it's in between add and full. So 6 litres, it said 7 litres, so that's pretty spot on. So I will add a little bit more, and then after I've driven it for a couple of days, I will check it. Where's the other container? I got rubbish running from my nose. So add a bit more. I'm just guessing now. There's still oil in the galleries, still a bit of oil in the filter that needs room. So I'm guessing that would be pretty close to the full mark. And it doesn't have to be exactly right. As long as it's between add and full, you're fine. I try to make sure it doesn't. So just stop, don't push it, and don't force it. But she's not bad for 250,000 kilometers, all right? Australia, we're a bit more advanced, we're metric. Just picking on you Yankees. So I don't know why I do always give everything a bit of a clean. But so that's it. A plain old oil change. You always see YouTube shows.
Yeah,
Show you.
and your underwear show.
My underwear show. Woo! What colour was it, honey? You don't remember? So you didn't have a long enough look. Okay. That's good. You didn't look long enough or see long enough. So. Oh, we don't want music. for that. Use that one there. Half, and then you got 3/4. That's always been normal for this vehicle. I'll give it back to the cameraman because I'm shaking like a leaf. And you can still hear a little bit of noise, so there's little pockets of air. So my recommendation is when you change oil, let it run for, you know, a few minutes. But I'm going to open up the garage door and go to the hospital, and they'll put some dye in my eye and hopefully find foreign object or give me some cream or something. So, anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks to my lovely wife, cameraman, woman. I'll probably do some shock absorbers next week. How's that? Checking out, and take care, peace and love for everyone. Bye bye.
Subscribe.
Huh?
Subscribe.
Bye.
Don't forget to like and share.
Oh, like and share and click and do all that shit you already know how to do.